keeping the dreams that we have for our nation. We are the youth of today. We are the hope of tomorrow. We are the future of our land. All we need is love. Is guidance. All we need is love to make our dreams come true. All we need is love. All we need is kindness. All we need is love to make this dream. We are just children today. The world becomes tomorrow. We go on it. All we need is love. All we need is love to make our dreams come true. All we need is love, and all we need is kindness. All we need is love to make this dream. We lost the best for us to pass the test. Love is what we need to carry on. We got to give life strength, love and tenderness. That's the reason why we sing this song. All we need is love. All we need is guidance. All we need is love to make our dreams come true. All we need is love. All we need is guidance. All we need is love to make this dream. All we need is love. All we need is guidance. All we need is love to make our dreams come true. All we need is love. All we need is guidance. All we need is love to make this dream. All we need is love. All we need is love. All we need is guidance. All we need is love to make our dreams come true. All we need is love. All we need is guidance. All we need is love to make this dream. All we need is love. All we need is guidance. All we need is love to make our dreams come true. All we need is love. All we need is guidance. All we need is love to make this dream. All we need is love. All we need is love. To make our dreams come true. Our eyes on Nigeria's home to serve our Father. With love and strength and praise.
Our heroes past shall never be erased. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Hey, let's go. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Alright, so compatriots, Nigeria,
Sorry, I didn't get that. Hello? Yes, I can hear you now. Hello? Hello?
Heroes past shall never be erased. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Hey, let's go. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Alright, so compatriots, Nigeria call obey to serve our fatherland. We love our strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, in freedom, in freedom. Peace and unity.
Okay, so good evening, people. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hey, what's popping? Hey, the gentleman is here. I was trying to chill for a bit, but now he's right here. Now, I'm sorry for those who are supposed to be joining live on Facebook. I don't know what Facebook is doing to us this evening. It seemed not to be connecting. I've been trying again and again because we always broadcast live to almost 40,000 people who are on the other side, but I'm trying again how to get it work. So just for their sake, let's see.
It has to work, oh.
Yeah, so it has to work. It has to work. It has to work. So trying again. Because always in the room we have limited people in Zoom, so we just broadcast to other thousands of people via social media. Then not connected. Why everybody's here? Everybody's here. Everyone. You're trying to stop live stream. They're not live streaming. They're telling me to stop the live streaming. It's just been preparing to live stream. Preparing to live stream. So let us see what happens here. Let's see what happens here. Okay, we are still hoping it's still coming, but in the meantime, let's just still enjoy this a little bit. Let's enjoy some. Let's enjoy some.
Our eyes on compatriots, Nigeria's home. to serve our Father. And strength and praise. Our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Hey, so, yeah. Oh, yeah. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria call obey, to serve our fatherland. We love our strength and faith. The labor of our heroes but shall never be in vain. To serve without our might, one nation bound in freedom, in freedom, in freedom. These are your Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria God
Okay, so I guess what we will do is we'll watch this to come on while we continue what we do this evening, because we can't wait endlessly. We can't wait endlessly. So good evening, everybody. Good evening, everyone. It's Crucial Conversations once again, special edition in October. Been observing, if you've been with us on Crucial Conversations since COVID came in. I mean, we started Crucial Conversations in April. So the focus has always been on sharing ideas on what we can do to improve our performance. So that cuts across personal, it cuts across business as well. Now, Nigeria just struck in our guest's office or house. I don't know, wherever it is. Nigeria just struck because I saw that the lights went off right now.
I'm telling you. In fact, I
Nigeria
don't know what to say, but this is Nigeria for you. This is
Nigeria
what
just struck. So, yeah, our focus for August, we hosted an all-female faculty in August as part of our focus in CHAMP, to empower women and at the same time to always give women a platform. And that's even when we started having a co-host on the show. And for the last edition in September, the focus was on health and wellness. And the focus for this month is on national development, nation building, right? So we'll be having conversations. And today, for the month of October, I'm having a co-host join me, someone I'm proud of, really proud of, who I'm sure was surprised when I called on her, to serve as co-host. So Fola, hi, how are you? Do you want to say hi to people? Unmute, show your beautiful face, say hi to everyone.
Hi, good evening.
Let the whole world see you. As you know, the whole world will be seeing more, going forward. The whole world will be seeing more of you going forward. Hello, Fola, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good evening.
Oh.
Hi, everybody. Good evening.
Can you hear me, Fola?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Good evening. How are you? Yes.
I'm fine, thank you.
We can hear you. We can see your face. Yes, great. Now, Fola is an awesome lady. She's a banker during the day, a YouTuber I don't want to say at night because I don't know whatever else she gets into. At night. Somebody's saying she can't open my video. Yes, we're not. We'll tell you when you can open your video. It's not yet time. All right, it's not yet time. We'll let you know when you can open your video. It's not yet time, but you will actually be able to open your video because it's a conversation that we're all having together. And today we are hosting. Oh, where is he? Is okay. Just disappeared. Oh, okay. Cool. So, okay, cool. So today we're hosting an amazing gentleman, who will be sharing his hopes and desires, about Nigeria. The truth is, we are not denying the fact that we have bad leadership. You can hear my focus on that bad leadership, the way I pronounced it. We can't deny the fact that we have bad leadership and we've experienced episodes of bad leadership. We used to share a joke that in the 80s we're in primary school. And Fola, don't laugh with what I'm saying now. That in the 80s we're in primary school. And then our teachers told us that we are the leaders of tomorrow. And those that were in leadership that time, they are still in leadership till now. And we're wondering, is it that our teachers were lying or that tomorrow has not come yet, right? And several years down the line, we're still here. I mean, I knew when Buhari was president the first time, right? Now, I'm not saying that I voted. I'm not saying I was an adult, but I'm saying that I was in this world when he was president, the first time. And then decades after, still occupying the space. Now, it's not about whether he's old. It's not about this, not too young to rule. It's not about an age thing. It has nothing to do with age. It's all about the age of ideas of people. It's all about the passion, the commitment to nation building. So, I am not the speaker for today. The speaker for today is Segun Manuel, and Oluwafolakemi Adeola will be reading his profile. Yeah. She has everything. But I'm trying to see how I can arrange one Hausa boy now so that everything will, just
so that the Wazobia will be complete.
Yes, so she can really Oluwafolakemi Abdul Bashir, something like that. No. We'll find a way around. So Fola, please read Segun's profile for us.
Okay, hi, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Can you hear me? I want to show that everybody can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes,
thank
we
you.
can.
All right. So Segun Manuel is Nigeria's leading motivational speaker with over a decade experience working in the oil and gas industry. He's the CEO of Smogville Solutions, a leading learning and development company. Segun Manuel is also the convener of the prestigious Mega Youth Summit Delta and Delta Women Empowerment Summit. He has spoken at the prestigious TEDx conference and anchors the Fast Rising Business Program on African Broadcasting Network, ABN. Through his speaking, Segun Manuel helps organizations and individuals leverage the most profits, the highest performance, and the greatest productivity and effectiveness out of every hidden opportunity and investment within their existing business. He has done several entrepreneurship trainings for RCCG, NNPC, Delta State Government, and everything in between. He is married with 3 kids. Welcome, Mr. Segun Manuel.
Thank you for having me.
We should give you a round of applause. I mean, that's a lot.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here tonight. I'm pumped already. I have another program after now, but I know that when the champ calls on you, you appear without wasting time. So I'm here. I'm ready. I'm good to go.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We cannot wait to hear and learn from you. Thank you so much.
Cool. So let's do it. Segun Manuel, take the stage, bro.
All right, so I'm supposed to be talking about building a better nation. If I could craft the topic that we decided I should speak about very well. This episode of the program in this month, they are talking about building a better nation. And one thing stuck to my mind in talking about building a better nation. How many of us are worried about what is happening today in this country? How many of us are worried about, I just prepared now for this program, put on my generator because I've not had light in the last 1 month. They brought it yesterday for a few hours, and I didn't have it again. So I prepared for this program tonight, bought fuel, put it in the generator, but the generator has been working for over 3 months, and when we put it on now, when the program was just about to start, it went off. That's a worry for me. How many of us are worried that what is going on with the COVID-19? They said, the advanced world said that they are looking at a time where there will be dead bodies dropping on the streets of Nigeria. They said that not because they wished us bad. They said that because they know that the Nigeria and the Africa that they know is a place that is less organized, that even if the pandemic hits, we will not have the necessary facilities to take care of people. Not because we don't have the money, not because we don't have the resources, not because we don't have the people, but they know that we are not, let me not say we cannot, we have not managed our resources very well. I'm worried. That is just the second thing I'm worried about. So remember, I told you I'm worried about power. Thanks be to God, my wife has gone to, maneuver the generator now. It's back on, so I have lights. COVID is still very well around the corner. For those of you who think it's over, it's not over yet. If you're watching the news, you will see that the American president just got back into that. Many people are falling back into it. I'm privy to some information, and I've seen a lot of people who are falling back into it. In fact, most people do not know that they have it because there is not enough adequate testing to show that. But I know, I'm privileged. I know I've seen people who have these things because they've gone for testing. I'm worried about the future of my children. I went to school in a time when going to school was easy. All your parents needed to do was bring you into the school compound, and you were registered and you went to school, even if they don't have the fantastic money to pay. I am worried that today I have to have enough funds to take care of my children. Yes, you're okay. I'm doing something. I'll talk to you later. So I was just talking about my children now, and one of them surfaced. I'm worried of the time we are in now, where I have to have a huge sum of money to send them to a private school. Aren't you worried, Abiola Salami? Aren't you worried, Folake, that the time we went to school, there was a few private schools and a lot of government schools. But today, the time we live in is where we have more private schools and less of government schools. The government schools are there, but they are not there to feed the people. They are there for the person who do not have enough to give quality education to their children by taking them to private school. Can you guys still hear me?
Sure.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Me, I can hear you. I'm enjoying
All right. Fantastic, Lawal. So I'm also worried about in Nigeria, where my children will go to school and come out of the university after I paid through my nose to send them to school, to send them to private school. Remember, by the time I went to university, it was government university, it was state-owned universities, it was federal universities, it was the Unilag, the Uniben, the Uniport, and all of that. And today, what is in vogue is the Covenant universities, is the Bowens, is the Bells University, is all the other universities apart from the government universities we went to that we were proud of. If you see people of my age, they are talking about the great Unilag, they are talking about UI, they are talking about all these other great universities. But I'm worried that my children will not have the opportunity to talk about all of these things. Maybe the time will come when I will send them to Ghana to go to school. But God forbid, because I'm worried for this Nigeria. I am worried that today, they tell me that, oh, the medical system is so whack that every government person wants to go abroad to treat themselves for the minutest of ailments. Why did they do that? Because they have all realized that the medical system and the medical structure in our country today is not fit to take care of the least of us, not to talk of the highest and the best of us. I am worried. I am worried because Nigerians generally don't like you to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it because if I'm going to build a great Nigeria, then this also is included. I am worried because the religious place that is supposed to be able to take care of me and is supposed to be able to say that these are the laws you should follow, these are the values you should follow, has lost the value that made them who they are today. Don't quote me, I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm saying generally, I'm not talking about Christians, I'm not talking about Muslims. I'm not talking about African traditional religions. But I'm saying that religions generally that used to be the guide, that used to set the values, that used to set the standard, no longer are able to set that standard that they used to set before. I can argue with you on that because I know that in the city where I live today, there were morals, and when you go to a person's house, the first thing your parents ask you was, who is your father? Who is your mother? I remember those days, there was this girl I used to like in school. In fact, she liked me too. But when she comes to my house, the first thing my mother says to her is, where are you coming from? Why are you here? What do you want? Who is your parents? Are you not supposed to be at home? I used to feel very bad those days as a young man growing up. Fine boy as I be that time now, you know, girls used to like me naturally. But my mother was able to guide me in that direction because then there were values. And people used to ask, I am worried for my children because of what I see today. I see it today where a young man who is still, I don't know how many of us saw that news, a young man who is still in secondary school, when he got back to school after the shutdown, he said they are benefit boys or whichever boys, can't remember which one of them now, but they called a particular name, that is what is happening. I am worried, guys, that at the time I am 50 and 60, because I'm 40 today, by the time I'm 50 and 60, 20 years from now, would we still have a nation that will be able to take care of me in my old age? Guys, everyone listening to me today, if you're not already worried about this, you should be worried already. But they say if you want to know where you're going to, look at where you are coming from, look at where you are now, and decide what is happening now to take care of tomorrow. Many of us are not looking at where we are coming from. It seems we have forgotten. I think the major problem of Nigerians today is that we have become very forgetful. And the politicians have realized that a lot of Nigerians forget. And so they will do something in 2015 and they will come back to us in 2019, in fact 2016, and come back to us in 2019 and tell us that the same person who you gave us all his criteria, gave us his dossier, that this guy is not qualified, you come back to us in 2019 and tell us that this is the one you should vote for. Why will anyone have the effrontery to do that? Because they know that the average Nigerian forgets. They look at the next thing beyond their nose, in fact, in front of their nose, and that is what they care about. Guys, we can't go forward until we look backward and make a decision about now to take care of tomorrow. The Chinese proverb says that if you want to grow a bamboo tree, the best time to plant it was yesterday. The second best time is now. Guys, our parents missed it at the point. All kudos to them. I'm not bashing any of our parents, but they missed it at the point, guys. They missed it at the point. They missed it at the point. I heard, I didn't meet that time, but I heard there was a time that when they were going to university, my uncle told me, because there was that time he said they were going, when they were in university, they were giving tickets. It was the University of Benin. They had a cafeteria. The idea of a cafeteria is that you go there as university students. You don't need to come to school with your camping gas, with your whatever it is that you use to cook. You go to the cafeteria, get the tickets. When you get to the cafeteria, you submit it just the way it is when you go for a conference or a training or anything. You submit your tickets and they give you food. Right here in Nigeria, this is not America. They told me that there was a time when you got to the embassy, United States embassy, and they hear that you're in Nigeria, and boom, they stamp the ticket. Let me shock you guys. We were not as rich that time as the nation is today. The value of resources, human resources, the value of our natural resources were not as much as it was yesterday. What is the problem? The problem is management. Management is something that they do not pay attention to today, but something that I want to share with you today, that you and I need to pay attention. If we must light a heavy flame, then we must light our individual candles, and when those candles join together, it forms a heavy flame. Why have I said that? I've said that if we must take charge of tomorrow of Nigeria, then we must begin to put management. We must begin to put management. We must begin to put management in our houses, in our family, in our children, so that when they go to school, they take that management that they've learned from us into the school environment. When they go to church, they take that same management. There's a whole lot embedded in management. There's delegation for one, there's planning, there's a lot of things embedded in management. But I'm saying that word, single word, management, because that has been the bane of our nation. And the absence of management is why I'm afraid for the future of not just me when I get to 60 and when I get to 80, when I retire, when I'm rested. It also makes me afraid for my children because I don't know. The number of Nigerians that are moving from Nigeria outside today. Look, guys, even if you get it right in your personal business and we fail as a nation in managing everything together, you fail in your personal business. Can anybody hear me? I don't know. I can't see anybody online. But if anybody can hear me, I want to get feedback so I know how to continue. Can anyone hear me? Abiola, can you hear me? Folakemi, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
yes, I
we
can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
So let me go on then. So I was saying that no matter how much I succeed as Segun Manuel, no matter how much you succeed as Abiola Salami, no matter how much Folakemi succeed, no matter how much Lawal succeeds, it is until we succeed as a nation that we can actually enjoy our individual success. You know, when they said in America that think not what America can do for you, but what you can do for America. I think that was very strategic because they realized and they knew that, look, if you must enjoy anything from America, you must have given in your management, you must have given in your input, that's why they said, think of what you can do for America, because once you do for America, America will naturally do back for you. And that's what I'm saying today, that as young Nigerians, we must begin to think about what we will do for Nigeria. And guys, I beg to say to you that the best thing we can do today for this nation is make sure that management is instilled. When you instill management, there will be laws. When you instill management, there will be consequences for breaking those laws. When you instill management, there will be enforcement of those consequences. See the process. There will be laws, adequate laws when you instill management. There will be guidelines, there will be rules.
The network seemed to be unfriendly.
Sorry, guys. Can you still hear me? Sorry, a call was coming into my phone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. We can hear you.
All right, fantastic. So I was saying that at the time those criminal laws were put in place, those things were adequate at that time. So it's not just to have laws so that somebody who takes the money from Pencom Commission only gets to pay a stipend that he will usually just use to buy suya or attend to his children at home as the consequence for stealing the huge amount. So we must have laws, we must have rules, we must have procedures, but then we must also put consequences that are commensurate when those consequences, when those laws, those rules, those procedures are broken. So I beg to say that today, if we look at many of the things happening in our nation today, and many of the laws we have, it's not that there are no laws there, but the laws are not adequate. So what must we do as management? We must ensure that these laws are there to address everything. We're talking of cybercrime. There's a law that affects it. Today, we're talking of LGBT. There are laws that addresses those things adequately. Not a gap. Look, every consequence must be in commemoration to the crime that was committed, to the law that was broken. So I'm saying we must have laws. Number one, if we're going to manage this country very well, we're going to put in management, even in your own personal space, there must be laws, procedures in place, and there must be consequences that are commensurate to it. Number three, which is most important, there must be that willingness to enforce the law and enforce the consequences when there are non-compliances. One of the things that has brought our nation to our knees today is that a whole lot of things are going on against the procedures, against the rules, against the laws that are put in place, and there are consequences that are supposed to go with them, but there is no willingness to enforce those. So guys, if we get this right as a nation, get the management right, get the management of our human resources right, if you know the number of medical people that have left Nigeria for Canada, left Nigeria for India, left Nigeria for Europe, left Nigeria for America. I don't have all the figures, but I hear that some of the best medical people in some of the biggest countries in the world today are Nigerians. And you guys can attest to that fact here, that if you go across the world, many of the brightest minds are Nigerians. Why are they living? Because we are not managing our human resources. Watch it again. The word has come in the management. We did not manage our human resources very well. So just look at this scenario. We have some of the best medical personnel across the best hospitals in the world. We have, I don't know if this statement is true, but we have some of the people who need medical attention the most, especially our elected officials, who are traveling across the world. Guys, do you know how much this nation would have made for medical tourism if we got this stuff right? That God has not blessed us, that He has not put the talent, that He has not put the gift, that He has not put the knowledge in us is a lie. Because it's these same Nigerians that are doing exploits everywhere else in the world. Imagine that we manage them. Why can't we let's just even relax and say we don't want to do oil anymore. We want to do medical tourism. So we ask all the best, bright Nigerian minds everywhere in the world. We say the 6 senatorial districts in the Delta area, what's the sickness that is prone? What's the sickness that is the worst around that area? We say, okay, we usually will have malaria because of the water that brings mosquito and all of that. So we build a hospital that takes care of child maternal mortality. How they call that now? How they call that thing now? Child mortality. That's what it's called. Maternal mortality. Yes, we build a hospital that takes care of that in the south. We go to the north and say, oh, people in the northeast, because of the dust and all, they have eye issues. We build a major hospital in that whole senatorial district that takes care of eye issues. We go to the east, people have issues with whatever leprosy and whatever. We have at the hospital that takes care of that. We go to Igbobi in Lagos, we make sure that that hospital takes care of everything that has to do with the endoskeleton and all of that. We build that. That is management coming into place. And we make sure that everybody graduating from university today, everything that they're doing in all of these universities, in the teaching hospitals, every teaching hospital in every state is tied to that major hospital in their senatorial district, supplying human resources, supplying when they do anything and they can't manage it, they take it to that place. Imagine how many people, in fact, why are many Nigerians traveling to India? Not because they want to go and see the Taj Mahal, but because they want to go for medical tourism. Why are many Nigerians going? Look at what happened during the COVID just now, where most of our elected officials were thinking of how to go to all those places to treat themselves. But I'm saying, if we can manage our human resources very well, then we would have gotten it right. What are our natural resources? It is only this nation today. So I'm not going to be just complaining about what is happening. I'm saying that it is you and I that needs to bring this solution so that your children and my children, and so that when you get to 40 and 50 and 60, and when you are retired, this nation will be orderly to be able to take care of you. That's what I'm saying. If we have managed our natural resources very well, if you know, I live in the Niger Delta area, so I know from what I've heard from research is that very soon the oil from the Niger Delta will be exhausted. And so when that is exhausted, and that is all we are depending on today. Alibaba posted something on his Instagram handle, and he said it was a list of the percentage at which each of the states depends on the federal government. And so you see most of the states, from the first to the almost about half of the number to the 20 something, are all dependent on the federal government by 90%, 80%, and 70%. Only about Lagos State, and I think I can't remember the who was the second, but Lagos State was the one who depended less. Why? Because of the IGR. So I'm saying this, that if this is our major source of resources, and all we do is sell the raw material to the man in whatever country to refine it and bring the one that has been value has been added and bring it to us and sell at a higher price. Is that not insanity? Is that not insanity? We use the end product. We have the raw material, but we say, oh no, we don't want to do anything with the raw material. You take it. And when a raw material is refined, you have added value. When a raw material is refined, the process of refining creates jobs. Imagine how many people will be involved in that whole process of refining the raw material of crude oil into becoming petrol, into becoming diesel, into becoming, thank God for the likes of Dangote. You know, there's a whole lot in that angle, but I've just used that as an example, guys. What about every other resources that God has given us? Because I know as a nation of 180 million people, there are a lot of these guys. When you were born, when I was born, naturally God gave us a gifting. So every Nigerian has a gift in them. Many people, like Mike Monroe said, will die with their gift, and a lot of Nigerians have not discovered their gifting and talent. But you think the good thing is that hunger will make you discover your gifting and talent. When you are hungry, when you don't have anything to do, you will discover that thing that is inside you and find a way to bring that thing, to refine it, to add value to it, and people will only pay for value and not raw material. I wish Nigeria would be able to convert all this. And I was thinking the other day, I told you I stay in the Niger Delta area. We have some of the guys that can swim like fishes around this area. Usually, a guy will swim with a drum of diesel. He'll swim with it and practically use his back, carry that drum of diesel across the river. And I'm thinking, so we can actually have the best Olympic swimmers. But what is the problem? We have not managed our resources as a nation. I go to the last point now that affects you as an individual, but also affects our nation. It is in the management of your finances. Management of your finances. Nigeria is in a quagmire today with our finances. We have borrowed more than we can even pay. We have borrowed more than we need. We have spent more than we have, and now we have continuous borrowing is where we are in. If Nigeria was you with this level of borrowing, rent money should have taken your house by now. Rent money should have chased you out by now. And that's the level that we are at as a nation. But let me even come to you as an individual, because the sum total of who we are is what the nation is. How are you managing your finances? How are you managing your finances? Management. How are you managing your finances? How are you managing that thing that comes into your hand? Who told you that what you have is not enough? My friend John Obidi will say, use what you have, for what you have is plenty. What you have is enough. If I'm traveling to Lagos today, I don't have to see Lagos from here. All I need to do is see my room door. From my room door, I see the door of my house. I see the door of my gate. That means that I start from where I am with what I have. As I move, it keeps expanding. It keeps expanding. It keeps expanding till I get to Lagos. That money you have in your hand, brothers and sisters, everyone listening to me, are you still here, by the way? Lawal, are you still here?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yes,
I'm here.
Fantastic. So,
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
What do you do? What do you do with the money in your hands? Look, there are three things you can do with money. You make the money by working, starting a business, selling something, offering services. That's just the basic level of making money. And that's where many of us as young Nigerians end. Because growing up as Africans, nobody taught us about money. Nobody taught us about finance. Nobody taught us about making it. They just say, oh, go to school, come out. When you come out, you get a job. And that's one level. If you finish and you're able to escape that level, they say, okay, start a business, start doing something. You can do your own thing. And that's the new one that is in now. Start your own thing. Entrepreneurship, I believe in that. And that's what I do too. But other than making money from all those things you do, how do you manage your money is the next one. Next thing you do with money. After making it, manage it. Many people just make it. They make it and they spend it. They make it and they use it. But there's the other part that is higher than just making it, which is managing it. As a rule, you should not spend more than what you earn. As a rule, you should spend less than what you earn. So I said two things now. You should not spend more than what you earn. As a rule, you should spend less than what you earn. It is when you spend less than what you earn that you have another thing for saving. That is something we were not taught as young Nigerians growing up. Because even at the national level, they said, I didn't mean that time, but they said that the president said that we had made so much money, and the problem is that we don't even know what to do with the money. So they were looking for stuff to do with the money, and they started hosting First Start and all the other football competitions. Do you know how many football competitions this nation has hosted? There was in 99 one, there was in 95 one, there was in 91. Because the mentality they had at that time was that, look, we have money, and what we need is to spend this money. Guys, it's a wrong thing to have. It's a wrong mindset to have. When you have this thing, you will make it. And I pray that God gives you ideas and gives you opportunities to make money, because the nation we're living in today, the situation, the economic situation today, people are being dropped. Everyone just said that they will drop 20% of their workforce. Shell just dropped some of their own. Banks did the same. Let me shock you. Government will have to do the same soon. I am telling you. I prophesied to them. Well, maybe not a prophecy. But Abiola, Salami, take note of this. I said it here first on your program.
Yeah.
Government will get to the point where they will have to drop staff. It will be that'll be the height, but it will happen. You know why it will happen? The resources are not increasing. Nations are not buying from us as they used to buy. We have, you know, they say what they say, you don't borrow jam. We have borrowed to everywhere we can borrow. We have borrowed from everybody. Very soon, nobody will give us loan anymore. Even the Chinese that are easily give you the money because of all the other plans they have. That's another one. No, that's a story for another day. Because when the Bible says the lender will always be a slave, how do you put it now? Debtor will always be a slave to the creditor.
Yes.
And that's the Chinese ideology, that the day will come when we owe them so much debt. When they come, you guys saw what happened in the House of Rep with the Minister of Transport and the committee that was investigating. You saw what happened? Did you watch it? Did you watch it? That's one reason for us to be afraid. But I have said that management is what we need, and so we must spend less than we earn so that we can have savings. What's the benefit of savings? Imagine that Nigeria has saved so much today that we have a reliable and a good amount in our foreign account. We have a good amount in our savings. The excess crude account, nobody's talking about it really anymore. Do you remember there was something like an excess crude account?
Yes.
When the budget was a particular amount and we got more money than what we budgeted for, the extra was put in a particular account that was named the excess crude account. Why did they keep it there? It was a form of savings that one day we would have need. Corona will come, COVID-19 will come, and there will be not much. So oil price will fall to zero like it fell. It will fall to zero. So we need something to be able to buffer. What does that tell you? They put that money there, but some governors, some of the ones you are seeing around, I don't want to mention names, said that, look, this money must not be there. Bring it out, let's spend it. That's the kind of mentality they have, not being able to manage the money. They just think of making money and spending it. Many of you as individuals are doing the same today. Check yourself. That's why I'm here. Because if we get it right as individuals, we will get it right as a nation. If we start ensuring management, we will get it right. And you see, people still say, oh, Nigeria is so bad. Nigeria, let's just pray. Let's just pray. No, we must go beyond that to start correcting it. Therefore, if we must correct Nigeria, we must begin to correct it from our own little space. In my house, I move from there to my church. I move from there to where I work. And these whole little flames will form these whole little candles will form the big flame. We're trying to form a big flame and solve the problem. We have not lit all the little candles. Guys, let's get it right as Nigeria. Time not day again, no. Time not day. Before you say, Jack, it's 20 years now. I'm already 60. I'm supposed to be retiring at that time. What about you? If Nigeria doesn't get it right, no matter how much you get it right individually, it still will not make sense. You have to run out of Nigeria. You have to go to Canada. You cannot be a first-class citizen in another man's nation, no matter how much you are able to gather to go to Canada today. Brother, a day will come where Canadians will start chasing Nigerians. A day will come. It's normal like that. Indigenous will always be threatened by the presence of strangers. And when they are threatened by the presence of strangers, what happens in South Africa will happen in Canada. It might even be worse. So having your own money to run out of Nigeria is not the solution. One of your parents, can you carry everybody? You must manage your finances. The last one, and I'm going to wrap up, is this. You must learn to multiply what you have. You must learn. You see, you can't multiply it until you have it saved. You can't multiply. If you just get it and you spend up to that, when it's time to multiply, there is nothing to multiply. So if you get it and you spend less, there will be something left. And that time, you have that thing to put somewhere and multiply. Do you know how many Yahoo boys are selling cars they bought for 1.2? They were bought for 2 million. They are selling at 800,000 today. one Yahoo boy just sold his M-Class Jeep, M-Class Mercedes-Benz Jeep, the small one that's like ladies one. He sold it for 800,000 naira. I'm not telling you something that I did not see or something that I don't know. And so many of you are shocked right here, right now. I know many others in Lagos that are selling like that. It takes those who already have cash stocked, cash saved to be able to get this opportunity. I know many people who are doing distress sales right now in their landed property that is worth 3, 4, 5 million. They're saying, if you can give me 1 million now, I'll give you the document. Same thing. You know how many nations Nigeria would have been able to invest in? Building a train track to Niger. What is Niger going to give to us? What are we selling to Niger with train track? I wrap up with this, Abiola Salami, and say that every one of us in our own little space have to start speaking up. The time to keep quiet is over. If you are worried about all these things I talked about, and you are worried about your tomorrow, because the time when they go school, they say, our generation bad. Now, when I went to that common entrance, I found my center by myself, found my seats by myself. Today, they are carrying children to center, looking for seats for them, carrying question paper. Their parents carrying question paper and giving it to them. And I was telling somebody, I said, this thing is getting worse. So if our time we still had quack people who did not do well in school, these other people now that they are petting and pampering like this, how are they going to take care of me when I'm old and I'm sick and I cannot take care of myself?
Yeah.
Plus, we are not worried at all. This is enough for you to be worried. It's a time to speak up. It's a time to say that, look, let's go back to our values. In your religious organizations, let's go back to our values. In your school, let's go back to our values. In everything that we are doing, that's why I thank God for the likes of Fowles. I don't know how many of you have followed him and what he did in the past few days. The guy could have stayed in the comfort of his father's house. His father had everything set and ready for him. But he said, look, I don't just want to be a Twitter warrior. I want to take it beyond there. And that's where you and I need to get. Because if you must have a better tomorrow, then we must take care of today. And I believe that with this few points of mine, I've been able to prove to you that a better Nigeria is possible.
Nice one, Segun Manuel. Nice one.
Thank you.
Nice one. Very well done. Somebody said that he was enjoying your vibration. That was the chat. Mr. Elawal, I see you. He's joining us all the way from the US. He's joining us all the way from the US on this call. I see you, sir. I see you. I see my friend Georgia too from Port Harcourt. Adewale Johnson, I see you. I guess you're in Lagos.
Right? No, Wale is in Dublin. I invited him to the program. Yes.
Oh, fantastic. I thought Adewale Johnson, so I thought he was the one. Oh, fantastic.
Okay.
So we see that we're everywhere in the world now on this call. Africa, Europe,
So,
America.
we're global now.
We're global now. Segun, you just get a global presentation, please. When you finish that, after this call, go back to village people and let them know that.
I'll add it to my CV, yeah?
Add it to your CV, man. Add it to your CV. Very well done. Very nicely done. The truth is, we can't hide from talking about our nation. We can't keep quiet about it. It's important that we keep having conversations and not just talk, like you have said, also in the doing. A lot of times we apportion blames and we look at the people at the top and say that they're mismanaging. Whereas we often forget that mismanagement did not happen when they got to that position. That they started by mismanaging themselves in the corner of their rooms. So when you now give them responsibility, they mismanage that responsibility. That's why for me, leadership is the beginning of leadership is self-leadership, that you can lead yourself, you can control yourself. Yes, so Fola, do you have questions? Do you have comments? That questions you like to ask, comments that you should have. Our resource person is still here. We paid him $1 billion, before the money would run out. Before the money would run out. Yes, Fola.
I just, not a question really. I just wanted to say that, I'm challenged. He said something about speaking up, and I think that's something that most of my generation we like to be keyboard warriors, and we like to talk on Twitter and on Instagram and all of that. And then nobody's actually coming out to talk the talk and walk the walk. Actually, people are just hiding behind their keyboards, and internet is free, and then everybody can type. Everybody's on Twitter and everybody's on Instagram, so people can talk from the comfort of their homes and do nothing. So it's a challenge. I mean, it's challenging me to speak up and come out and be heard, and then make my voice heard, make my opinion heard, give my opinion on things that affect us. Because I mean, if we don't talk, if we don't act, there's nothing that's going to change. There's nothing that's going to, it's not magic. For us to see change, we have to want the change and show how much we want it. So that's what I wanted.
Great. True words. Fantastic. Yes,
Yeah.
More comments.
Yeah, I would like to say something, please.
Yes,
if I'm permitted.
Yes, you are permitted.
Yeah.
And we are releasing your video as well, so we can release your video now. So talk to us. We needed to focus on the person talking. That's why I had to unmute, that's why I had to.
Yes. I understand.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Thank you very much for the talks, and I will really appreciate our speaker as well too. Yes, we have to speak out, right? But how do we speak out, and how will our intention be known or being taken by the government that is in power at any point in time? I'm not talking about a particular one. I could remember very well during IBB days then, Hope 93. Even at our own remote place in Ilesha. I was in Ilesha, and that my friend from Dublin is a witness as well too. For every morning in that Hope 93, when everybody wake up, even though we were younger then, but we know what was happening then, we march out from our different corridor to Roundabout. There's a place they call Roundabout in Ilesha. That is very close to the palace. That is where we can be seen and we can be heard, isn't it? That is from our own side. It happens like that all over the nation then, to the extent that even Babangida's bean cake was baked, was cooked, was everything, with the thought that the guy would die. Up to today, IBB is still living. That is aside. But what I'm trying to bring across is that no matter how you make noise in Nigeria, I still want to believe that nothing will be done. I've seen several riots, several protests. I was in Saranson in 2012 or 2011 when Jonathan said pump price will increase, as if Nigeria will collapse that day. I saw branded uniform, rifles, vehicles, everything with the military at Ojota, every point, everywhere. Nothing happened. We were surprised that the government that promised us that, nothing like subsidy, this one, they are just lying, they are making money. We know, I see all these people. Abiola I see all these people in Saranson, they come here and there. I know they are armed robbers, to be honest with you. Honestly, I can say it anywhere. My MD knows me then. And he will say, this guy, just leave him. Because I will be surprised. You see all these people and nothing happened to them. This is where I'm going. We protest, we speak our voice, we make noise. Of recent time, I saw a lady was addressing some people, maybe on the protest of this NSC that's supposed to happen about 2 weeks ago or last week, something. The lady was shouting, was breaking, was there. Nothing. This is the problem we're having in Nigeria. Like I always tell people, in fact, before this meeting, myself and Wale was talking, and because of the meeting, this Zoom meeting, we quickly ran up in order to join up, as if we're going to hear the same thing, honestly speaking. I was shocked when my brother was talking about public school, public this, public that. Honestly speaking, me and Wale were saying that nowadays it's just about Google. Go to Google, search this and copy. Before you do everything from your brain in Nigeria, I never heard about Babcock University. I never heard about Caleb. I never heard about, I went to CSC Primary School, Ilesha Grammar School, OAU, Unilag. These are the places we know. Then the Polytechnic Ibadan, Ishelogunshe, But now all those schools have gone. I don't know why. But this same government, they'll come today now, Mr. President presented a budget, right or wrong? education, health, everything, every sector has their, are they spending the money in the right place? You see our Senate, our House of Rep, it's only when the money comes in, they started fighting. Since this guy said off the mic, now they've ended that story, NDDC, story end. Those boys wasting, they're supposed to pay their scholarship in what you call it in UK and some other places, even though we know it's kangaroo. In 2011, 12, it is in Southern Sun, they were giving them checks and cash. I know the guy that was paying them, all those Niger Delta militants, sending them to South Africa, what you call it, flying school. Where is the aircraft they are coming to fly in Nigeria? Nigeria doesn't even have a national carrier. You send somebody as a pilot to Jordan, flying school in Jordan, he will only come back, he will become a militant.
So
These are the
sorry,
problems. And
Lawal,
of recent time, I'll give you an example of this now a person. Yeah.
I'm not cutting you, Lawal. Can you hear me?
Sir.
Can you hear me, Lawal?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, how will our voice be heard by whichever government that is in power? Okay. Not even this particular one. Right from the days of let's forget about military, the days of Obasanjo. Yeah,
so the question is, how do we make sure we are heard by any government in power? So Segun, did you get that?
Yeah, I got that. So I was going to cut it in between when he was talking to say, so would he advise that we just keep still and continue because nothing is happening? They say when good people keep quiet, the people doing it becomes enforced and enshrined and ingrained in them to continue doing. So it's not just people doing evil that are bad. It is those who see evil that keep quiet that are even worse. So our parents taught us, due to our African traditional religion and our culture, that look, you don't speak up to an elder. So we saw the elders leading us against the wall, and they said, no, by our culture, you don't speak up against them. And that's how we got here. Because when you wanted to protest yesterday, your parents said, no, don't go against government, oh, stop it, oh, don't do it, oh, stay in the house, oh. And it got to the point where your own children now will ask you, Daddy, when all this was happening, what did you do? You say, oh no, we were protesting before, and now we saw that the protest didn't work. It does work, my brother. It does work. The problem is that we do not do it in unity. When the South is doing, the East, we say, oh, it's our man that is in power. When the North, let's just look at a recent history. When the North and the Southwest were leading the charge against the former president, what happened?
Yes.
What happened?
Yeah.
Leave that thing. Outside. Thank you. A few minutes. Outside. So these are the people who are struggling for now. When that was happening, people said, the particular session said, oh, it's our brother. Why are you disturbing him? It's our brother. Today, we are speaking against this one that is there now, because we have seen that all the things he promised and said he will do, obviously is not delivering as we said. We thought he would deliver, but a section of people who were very vocal at that time are not vocal. It's just a few people you see who are standing by our values. And that's what I'm talking about. When you stand by values, whether the person is from your side or is not from your side, that's not the issue. The issue is, what are the values of a true Nigerian? What are the values we want to see as a nation? I'll flog you guys outside. What are the values we want to see as a nation? And that values is what becomes the standard for us. Today, like I said earlier, there's a serious problem because even our religious system and bodies are not ensuring that we follow that values that will make us and keep us as a nation. That's a whole story for another day, but we're not going to go there. But I'm just saying, I'm pointing out that the people who are supposed to be enforcers of the values, when we fail in the political terrain, when we fail in the leadership terrain, When we fail in the business terrain, the spiritual terrain is supposed to be able to bring us back to the, oh boy, you failed though. This is not what it's supposed to be. These are the values that we're supposed to follow. It doesn't matter what religion you are in. All religions ascribe to almost the same values. Abi, am I lying?
Yeah, but
Salami? Correct
No,
me.
you're right. You're right.
no, but they are the ones even hating them.
If I was jumping,
So, like, hold on, Salami. Abiola just said that they are the ones even aiding it. So you have just buttressed what I said now. That they who are supposed to be the standard are no longer the standard, and that's where our problems are. So, but that we must keep speaking up. It's very important. Even in the religious sector, we must begin to speak up. We must begin to speak up and say, "Sir, this thing not be like this. This is what our book says. This is what our manual says. We must follow it." You kept quiet because you were taught that, oh, these people can't be wrong. No, they are leading you to God. They are not God. They are leading you to God. They are not God. Many of us have forgotten that they are leading us to God. We are not taking them as God, and that's why we're making mistakes.
Okay, thank you very much, Segun. Coach Fauzi, you'll be sharing your opinion in a few minutes, but I just wanted to mention that a lot of these protests that we've experienced over time, even back in the day, back in Babangida's days, before Babangida, there were protests. In the 70s, there were protests. I mean, not that I was alive and yet, even for some of these protests, but I read history. But I read history, right? But the key thing is that even for some of those protests, there's the hypocrisy in it, which is where we should even look at. The hypocrisy in that, for some people, the reason for the protests is, while in the beginning they are really committed to the spirit and the values of the protest, somewhere along the line, they deviate and then use their position as the leader of protest to get into governance. You see
no values. That's the values you're talking about. No values.
And that's because of zero values. So as there protest, are people speaking up? People are speaking up. But people who are speaking up are speaking up in a way for them to get their own fair share, of the so-called national cake. So when you see someone today talking about Nigeria condemning the government, watch that person after a few years. The person is that because they will call him, oh, yeah, come now, come closer, let us give you something. I keep quiet. Then you find out that the guy is not speaking.
Yes. Jonathan.
There's some presidential candidates, in the last election that used to be a student leader, that owns one media company like that.
We know them.
That they took and then international community was saying that they should release him. This same guy who was working with the incumbent government when they were trying to get into power. They used his facility. He was part of them. And then some of them would not say, oh, I've just seen the light or what. No. So you were a beneficiary. You were a beneficiary in it. And then you came out to say that you are contesting or protesting. And of course, because of one of the things that I had said earlier is how people forget things. I call it selective amnesia, that people have selective amnesia, that you forget that this same person who was involved with these people, because the person is now coming out to say something different, to whitewash himself, doesn't automatically make the person the right person to follow. Doesn't make the person a saint. Doesn't make the person the right person to follow. And a lot of people have dented their integrity on the altar of opportunities, right? On the altar of opportunities on the benefits they are getting from succeeding government. So should we speak? Yes, we should keep speaking. But beyond the talk is the walk. And the walk is about values. The walk is about values. So you do the talk, you do the protest, and you stick to the purpose, the spirit of that protest. The way we keep on losing it is because people deviate from the spirit of the protest. Once they show them a carrot, they gravitate towards the carrot, they leave the protest alone, and then they become the governor of Edo State. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. What was I saying before?
I didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. So they leave the protest and they become, some governor, they become some minister, they become, and we've seen a lot of this happen. If we go back in the day, Nadeko that was fighting Abacha very seriously. The people in Nadeko, who did they end up becoming? One of them ended up becoming governor in 1999 in Oyo. All of them ended up becoming governor. So it looked like a compensation.
It was a compensation. It was.
Exactly. Even my brother, we know. Sorry to cut you short. We know people that went to Abdul Salam to collect huge money, and that was the end of Nadeko. We know them to today. They are moving here and there. Yorubas, these are people that will say Ududua. Who will come out to come and say Ududua and say what Ududua? They will just use you as a sacrifice.
So when we are talking about the nation, we should know that in many ways there are a lot of people who are the actors into where we are right now, and they are not necessarily just career politicians. There are also pressure groups that we're supposed to latch into. There are also some managing directors of some organization somewhere. All of these people plugged into the corruption that we have. I remember IBB, reading something from IBB not too long ago, that said that the reason he did not hand over to MKO in 1993 is because some people were ready to kill him if he handed over. I don't know if anybody saw that thing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which seems to be
that of Benue State was there. David Mark.
Yes, on the names he mentioned. And that's the person that, right? So when we get it wrong, when we are attacking an individual in protest, we get it wrong when the people who want to recruit even in our protest group, they were a PDP yesterday, but now they have joined APC, so they are now saints. They've been whitewashed. So it's important that we carefully select those we want to run with, and when we are doing it, we stick to our guns. Coach Fauzi, you want to say something? Coach Fauzi, are you there? Coach Fauzi, are you there? He's asking if you could share an opinion, and we said we will take you shortly. Okay. Coach Fauzi, are you there now? Okay. So,
good evening. Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. It would be great to know your name.
All right. It can sound noisy underneath, but please, I will make sure my voice is coming over. So my name is Oluwafolakemi Adeola-dada, popularly known as Coach Fauzi, because I'm a nutritionist. So that's why I put myself as Coach Fauzi, and that Fauzi is my nickname. So I want to appreciate the host of this event. I want to appreciate our speakers and every other person that have been saying a lot of things. I'm actually a young lady, so I've learned a lot of things from my big daddies and brothers here, and my also sister. Now, what I just want to add as my own young youth of today is that the reason why so many youth are not standing out to talk is that what we've been programmed. I tell people, most of us, we are being programmed that we should go to school, get a good grade, to get a good job. We are not programmed that we can actually bring out the greatness in us. And that is why so many of us are hiding under this shed of, when I get job, I will talk. When I get job, I can use my, most of the things that Mr. Segun discussed about, this management of a thing, that thing is not even under Nigeria alone. Even in our household, management. If parents cannot manage their children very well, they will be out there doing all sorts of nonsense. They will be out there not portraying good things about their family. And that is why I tell people, see, the government is we ourselves. Because those people that are emerging to that position, they are actually coming from one family. And if family cannot manage their children very well, if family does not manage their offspring very well, they will go out there and then do anything they like. That is why you see, you made mention of these benefit boys. Actually, they are just joking. That's a comedy. But in a real sense, some of this youth that from secondary school, they are out there doing things that they will say, I'm making money for myself. I'm collecting money for my generation. They'll be saying all sorts of rubbish. And they are not bringing out the creativity in them. They are doing all sorts of things that will not add to their life. At the end of the day, all these things, they still have to kill people, do rituals before they can become successful and rich in life. One thing, that management of a word, I'm going to use it at my seminar tomorrow. That management of a word, I picked something out of it. Management start not just in Nigeria, start from each families. Because if parents cannot manage their offspring very well, they'll be out there doing all sorts of things that spoil Nigeria. I think of something that very soon, if I travel out of the country, I don't know how I'm going to stand and call myself a Nigerian, but I'm proud to be a Nigerian, and I always show a good ambassador of being a Nigerian. That is why I'm always doing things that will always bring positivity around me, doing things to influence into people positive. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. God bless everybody.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Coach Fauzi. Thanks a lot, Coach Fauzi. Fola, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, cool. So, Adewale Johnson, it will be good to hear from you, sir, from Ireland. It will be good to hear from you. Adewale Johnson and Georgia, it will be good to hear from you as well. You know, so people, I think our takeaway from the conversation today is the place of personal responsibility, which is critical. Taking personal
I
responsibility.
can't hear you, Abiola, anymore. I don't know if anybody can hear me.
Okay, can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, cool. So I was saying that the takeaway for us for today is personal responsibility. Is about us taking personal responsibility even for our own success and of course for national development as well. If we want to change, not focusing on changing the country, but focusing on changing ourselves and improving on ourselves. The truth is, if we're in a better environment, we will have better opportunities. But we're in the environment that we have right now, and it's about how can we still make greatness happen in this environment. Also, to know that yes, we are all Nigerians, but we should not be limited by Nigeria. We are all Nigerians, we should not be limited by Nigeria. Not be limited by Nigeria means that you have skills, you should develop your skills to become globally competitive. We're on this call today, we have somebody joining in from Dublin, we have another person joining in from the US, right? Now, it's for us to be globally competitive such that even if you are sitting down somewhere in Lagos, Nigeria, or wherever you are seated, you can serve a global audience. Just a few days ago, I was recognized by a global platform to be one of the top 100 people of most influential people of African descent. I am sitting here in Lagos. I'm working out of Lagos, serving a global audience. And I think that beyond the dent that the leaders of the past might have dropped on our nation, we too, in our own way, with the way we do our work, with the way we develop ourselves to become global champions, right, that we can shine a positive light on the country. And another thing I've found is that despite how the country is, anytime the country wants to solve a problem, anytime the country really commits to solving a problem, they know who to look for and how to solve the problem. One of the examples that has not left me since 2015 or thereabout was Ebola. When Ebola came into Lagos, Nigeria, it was 2014 December. There was campaign going on between PDP or APC. They were both fighting each other that period. But they stopped it and focused on resolving the Ebola problem because they knew that everybody would die. And then, of course, unfortunately, after they resolved the problem, they went back to their way of life normally. But what that taught me that period is that when there's a problem and that everybody's really committed to working the problem, that we will look for the solution. And what all of us on this call and everybody hearing us, watching this, what you want to do is to develop yourself to becoming a solution provider, not just on a local scale, but on a global scale. It is important that as we are wishing the nation well, that we should remember that it is all our individual contributions, our actions and inactions, our good and our not so good that contributes to what the nation becomes. So once again, I want to say thank you to Segun Manuel for doing this with us. Segun, any last words, any final words from you?
All right, just to say that it's not enough to hear what we have heard. What will make the difference is the actions that we take.
Yeah.
For me, I believe in the power of consistency. Little drops of water breaks the rock, little drops. So you don't have to wait to do the big things. Do your own small thing that you can do. But be consistent in it. When you do it every day. Remember that lady who used to always go and meet the king to ask for something? The king didn't give her because he liked her face. He gave her because she was consistent and persistent. What are we consistent about? The problem with us as Nigerians is that we're not consistent about anything. Once they just sway us like this, we just move and go. We go and sit down and wait for another time. You see the thing with SARS, they're just playing with us with the SARS thing. We complain about SARS, they changed the name to FSARS. We complain again about SARS now. They said they banned them from doing road patrol. So they didn't ban them. The SARS is still there. It's still everything, but they should not do road patrol. How do you pursue armed robbers without going on the road? And once they say they ban it, I see people tweeting, "Oh, they ban." Have you looked at it critically? We don't look at it. We just look at things in the surface. For people that matter, little things matter. It's the little things that matter. Look at the little. They know that you will not look at it. They know we are lazy Nigerian youths. So they say, "Oh, they banned them from doing road patrol." Oh, but they are still there. The squad is still there. They still have their ammunition. They are still together as a group. What is this? I was just telling myself, I said, oh, so suddenly all the protests will stop now because they banned them from doing roadblock. We are not ready yet. We must look at the things that matters, because to people that matter, these little things matter. We must consistently focus on what matters.
Thank you very much, Segun.
Thank you for having me, Abiola Salami. I hope I was of value to you tonight.
Thank you for adding value to us. Of course, you can hear from everyone. Thank you for adding value to us. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. And we're sorry today we could not broadcast live on Facebook. I mean, I've been trying it since. I don't know why it did not work this time. But what we will do is we'll share this content on YouTube, and then from there we'll share it to other platforms. Right? So thank you very much. We do this every Thursday. So next Thursday, all the Thursdays in October, well, am I in January 2021 already? Anyway, all the Thursdays in October 2020, we'll be discussing Nigeria, we'll be discussing the nation. So tell all your friends to tune in, tell everybody to come on and let us enjoy this conversation together. Let us pick the things we can learn together so that we can all keep rocking our world like champions. So thank you very much once again, everybody. Oluwafolakemi, my co-host for the month of October, you know, she keeps smiling. She keeps talking to the phone, you know. So thank you as well, you know, for joining in, right? And all of us, again, we'll see next Thursday and the other Thursday and the other Thursday. I don't want to tell you who we're hosting next Thursday. I'm keeping that in the cooler. So you will see it very soon. So thank you very much, people. So everybody, bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Bye.